Imagine a world where The Departed doesn't exist. Billy Costigan works his way up through the Stades to become lieutenant. Colin Sullivan passes the bar and becomes a personal injury attorney with his face plastered all over the red line. And Frank Costello? Well, he repents for his sinful ways and volunteers at the church.
But in that world, Martin Scorsese never gets his long overdue Oscar, and Jack Nicholson never invents a brand new, terrifying way to use a prop to scare the hell out of Leonardo DiCaprio.
Or imagine a world where no one ever watched L.A. Confidential again.
A world where Bud White goes to anger management, Ed Exley remains a rigid Boy Scout permanently sidelined in internal affairs, and Captain Dudley Smith sees the errors of his ways and retires to a farm where he befriends a precocious pig.
Two superb examples of gritty neo-noir, innumerable Academy Award nominations, but only one film will be brought in from the cold.
This is The Essential Cut.
Welcome to today's episode, To Protect, Serve, and Double Cross. I'm Ian, one half of the Essential Cut podcast.
I'm Michael, the other half.
And we're on a quest to build the greatest watch list of all time.
And to do it, we are using research, debate, the scientific method, and good old-fashioned vibes to arrive at the toughest decision any movie lover can make. Which movie to never watch again.
And when all of that doesn't work, and Michael and I still can't agree, we rely on you, the audience, and the power of democracy to determine which movie belongs on the greatest watch list of all time and which one will be deleted forever.
The movies may be forgotten gems, AFI top 100s, or summer blockbusters. No movie is off limits. No genre is safe.
All right, Michael, last week we had a pretty clear outcome on the watch list. You and I both agreed that as much as we love Gomez, we love Morticia, we don't want to see them go, and it was Sonnenfeld's directorial debut that we had to let it go because Beetlejuice somehow grew and became even better, I think, for both of us as we discussed it. The things we thought were flaws became strengths
in a weird way? Yeah. That's honestly, not to like pat ourselves on the back too much, but one of my favorite things about doing this is I went into Beetlejuice thinking like, oh, it's really popular, it's fun, I know I like things about it, but it's kind of a mess.
That's how I've always felt about it.
That's how I've always, and then I watched it this time and then we talked through it, and I actually think it's a really good movie.
I 100% agreed. Things that I always thought were just structural problems with the movie that didn't make sense, but I had fun with it.
Are actually thematically relevant.
Yeah, it showed pretty clearly that it was the stronger film between the two, but we made an agreement that we will do Addams Family Values and that we will rescue Raul Julia from the depths of being deleted from the watch list and get him on there some way, somehow. And the reality is Addams Family Values is a better Addams Family movie. It felt weird to put the sequel up against the original when we were doing it. And so, I mean, the easy thing is do Beetlejuice against Addams Family Values. And
then you have a nice sacrificial lamb. It's good to go.
Maybe we just do that. Well, at any rate, how are you feeling about the watch list so far? So right now, we've got a couple more polls out, so we don't know whether it's going to be Invasion of the Body Snatchers or Close Encounters, but it's close right now. It's leaning Close Encounters, which we predicted would happen. We have another poll that is out right now. We don't know the conclusion to it. It's Nightcrawler versus Drive. You went Drive. I went Nightcrawler. I feel good about both of those movies being on the list. So if one wins over the other, I do think Drive will take it. That's my sense.
Think that seems right.
That's my sense of it. Yeah. But besides that, we've put The Treasure of Sierra Madre on there. We've put Boogie Nights on here. We've officially put Shaun of the Dead on our watch list as well. We have Ishtar. We have Bowfinger. What do you think of our watch list?
I like the watch list. I'm really happy with the watch list. I think if I have any complaint, it's that putting the watch list together has required us to make some really tough calls.
Yeah.
And so...
But it's also produced a pretty gnarly watch list.
Yeah. So I feel really good about the watch list. I am in mourning a little bit for some of the movies on the cut list.
Yeah.
And so that's where I get torn.
Are you worried about Close Encounters Invasion? Like if you lose Invasion, how are you going to feel?
I'm going to be bummed because I really, really love Invasion. That movie really got me.
Maybe we'll try one of the other makes of it though. There's some earlier makes that are pretty interesting. We actually had a voter who specifically asked me which Invasion we were talking about. And I know there are several, but I was sort of like, everybody talks about 1978.
We could put like the old Invasion against the Thing, maybe.
Maybe do something like that. That could be a good time and at least get like the themes on the watch list.
Yeah. That said, Close Encounters is in a lot of ways just seminal filmmaking, and so it being on the watch list doesn't feel wrong in any way.
That's a movie that every time I watch it, it's better than I think that it is.
Yeah.
It just gets better. My son voted against it. He does not like Close Encounters, he thinks it's boring. He thinks it's slow, which is funny because I always think it's going to be boring and slow, and then it's not.
And then it's not. I mean, I will say it's a more challenging movie than I think a lot of people would expect it to be, given that it's like an alien movie.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's it. But I don't have complaints. I love it.
I know. It's really good. All right. What are we doing today?
All right. So today is another tough one. We are going to be pitting L.A. Confidential against The Departed.
I feel like I ask this every time. Who is making these selections? Why would we want to delete either of these movies from the greatest watch list? They should both be on it, right?
It's our very cruel board.
It is very cruel.
They decide to pit movies against each other. We're forced to cut really good movies.
We have no say in it whatsoever. I feel like this is like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing. Maybe we need to like pivot the theming. It's like the movies just get sent to us from Earth and we're sitting on a spaceship.
We're sitting
and
there,
we
we
have to
just
make a decision.
have to watch.
Ooh, I just had a new idea for our show.
Oh, God.
You ever watch Mystery Science?
Not really, no.
Dude, on Tubi, they just show it all day now. 24 hours a day. There's just a channel. You can just stream it. Watch one. They're really good. They're really fun.
It's like live commentaries of crappy movies, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
But the whole theme is that this guy and two robots have been launched into space and they're required to watch the movies like each time they finish one, they get a 10-minute break, and then the people on Earth send them another movie and it forces them to watch the movie. So it's like a torture.
That's what this is? This is torture?
Is it not?
I mean, the watching of the movies is far from torture.
Deleting the sorcerer from our watch list that hurt my soul.
That was a sin. Yeah. We're going to be punished in the afterlife for that one.
Yeah.
And this one, I mean, we'll obviously be talking in depth about them, but spoiler alert, these are two excellent movies. And
they're all about double crosses as well, which makes me wonder, will we have to double cross one of these movies? Because I feel like I'm really on the side of one of them right now. Like I am a Departed stan. I was in Boston when this was shot. I remember streets being closed down and being told, Leo's there.
I love The Departed. L.A. Confidential is one of those movies that has like a bit of a story to it in that it came out the same year as Titanic, and Titanic was like such a juggernaut, and so it has this.
It like lives in its shadow.
It lives in its shadow. I don't want to call it a cult following exactly, but it has its champions for that reason.
Yeah.
And I would consider myself one of them, and that's not to take anything away from Titanic. I love Titanic. I'm definitely one of those people that like, I will defend Titanic against people who say it's not good.
I've thought about it. I don't know how we could ever do Titanic on this show because I don't know what could beat it, and so it just wouldn't be the outcome would be too predictable.
Silly. But I also
we both love Titanic.
But coming into this, like L.A. Confidential is one of those movies where I was excited to do it because I think it's criminally underseen. I think it's a great movie. I'm rooting for L.A. Confidential.
I'd never seen it before, and I mean, spoiler alert, I fucking loved it. It was great. It was such a good movie.
Yeah, and so
I don't know how it'll hold up against The Departed.
For an episode like you said about double crosses, we are going to have to betray one of these excellent movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think no matter what, it's going to feel like a surprise because I don't know what I'm doing before we have this discussion. I
may have to sacrifice my soul. Maybe at the end of this, I won't be a fucking cop.
You won't be a fucking cop?
Maybe I won't be a fucking cop. I might be a lot of things, but I won't be a fucking cop.
One of the movies is going to walk into its apartment and take a bullet to the head.
Does Sullivan not shit his pants in that scene?
Oh, he definitely does.
When you see a man in white booties and a blue jumpsuit standing in your apartment who fucking hates you.
Yeah, not good.
No.
Nothing good's about to happen.
That's the second time he pisses his pants in this movie. Poor Sullivan.
So, we're pairing these two movies.
Yes, we are.
They're epic double cross movies.
Yes,
they also surprisingly have a lot more in common than I realized until I watched them back to back.
Tell me about it. I'm excited to get into that with you.
There are characters that seem to have analogs in each movie. There are themes that absolutely intersect. Really, really fascinating pairing. A better pairing than I thought it was when the board made the pairing.
That board, maybe they know what they're doing. Should we trust corporate boards?
No.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not. What's wrong with you? Why would you even ask that question?
Because we just said they made a good decision.
Our board did.
Our board did. Our corporate board.
And so to make this very tough decision, we are going to pit the movies against 3 important tests. We are going to assess their cinematic importance. We're going to talk about the legacy of the movie. what came before it? What came after it? What kind of impact has it had on our culture?
Yeah.
We are going to talk about the emotional connection of the movie. This is, I think, why we watch movies, is
to feel things, because we're so numb to society from drugs and alcohol and whatever else has gotten in the way of our feelings. We just have to go sit in a dark room.
Sure. That's not where I was going to go.
Oh, that's just me. Okay.
But I was going to say that that when a movie makes me feel something, when a movie sticks with me in a way that is beyond the superficial, I just really appreciate those movies. And when we are able to dive into their emotional connection, I think that's where a lot of the really great parts of our conversations come from.
I'm just excited to feel anything through the high dosage of lithium.
The high dosage of lithium. Yes. You should talk to your court-appointed therapist about it. And then last and definitely not least, we talk about, is the movie entertaining, right? I mean, movies are a somewhat unique art form in that they exist to entertain. They're commercial products that are there to have some fun with. And even if a movie has great performances, really solid direction, the cinematography and sets are beautiful, the themes are deep, they can't be boring. And so we have to talk about whether or not we are entertained by these movies and not just if they give us something to think about, talk about.
It's one of the things I love about film is that it has to walk that really delicate tightrope to become a great movie. When a movie gets made, it's a miracle. When a movie gets made that does all of those things, it's beyond a miracle. It is one of the 7 wonders of the world. And I think we're watching 2 movies this week that accomplish all 3.
That there are enough of them that we're able to make this essential watch list out of it.
I know.
We're very lucky.
I feel very grateful. All right. Well, Michael, we've got our work cut out for us.
We definitely do.
Let's get into it. We're going to start by taking a look at L.A. Confidential and its place in the cinema landscape. It opened on September 19th, 1997 to $5.2 million against a $35 million budget. Its tagline was, off the record, on the QT, and very hush-hush. It was nominated for 9 Oscars, including Best Director, Best Cinematography, and Best Picture. Kim Basinger, or is it Basinger? I never know which one it is. I've
switch it back and forth
constantly. We get to say her name and Vera Farmiga again on this one, which I think we've got right now. She did win for Best Supporting Actress, and it also won for Best Adapted Screenplay, and that went to Curtis Hanson and his co-writer Helgeland. This movie has a really sort of unique place in cinema history, but let's just kind of go where it falls on all the big lists first. So it is not on the AFI Top 100, unsurprisingly. It is, however, on the New York Times 1000 Essential Films. They really loved it. The original review was glowing. They feel that it's an incredible representation of neo-noir, which I'm inclined to agree. It's number 709 on IMDb, which is higher than some of the films we've been doing lately. It's not in the Letterboxd Top 500, but it does have a star rating of 4.1. I pulled 2 reviews from Letterboxd for this one. I pulled one from a pro and one from Jizz Monkey.
Jizz Monkey.
There we go. I was like, are you listening? Come on. Yeah, so David Sims, host of Blank Check and staff writer at The Atlantic, wrote, when you think about it, it's the Wizard of Oz. Bud gets a brain, Jack gets a heart, and Ed gets the courage. But Jizz Monkey, on the other hand, wrote, I'm glad they explained it all at the end because I had no fucking idea what was going on.
Jizz Monkey needs to focus on some other things.
Maybe he's got his hands full.
He might.
Just out of curiosity, though, because I know we're not going to talk about plot, but like, you've seen this film before. Were you able to follow it? Like,
yeah, but I wouldn't say like it's super easy. I think it's very plotty. And so while it's not horribly complex, really difficult to follow, you do have to put effort into keeping track.
Well, there are 80 speaking roles in the film, which is kind of nuts. And most of the people who are in it now are stars, but at the time, they weren't. And so that makes it, in some ways, more difficult to follow as well because you're trying to figure out who's who and who's actually important. Like when you watch a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, you're like, I know he's important.
I should pay attention to Leo.
I should pay attention to the things he's saying. Whereas in a film like this, you actually have so many police swirling around at the beginning that it's unclear who you're actually supposed to be following until the movie sort of like it almost like breaks free of all of the police and you start to figure out who your leads are. But talking a little bit about the look of this film, because there was a lot of obviously inspiration in order to achieve this look in the 90s, because the movie has it does a pretty remarkable job of looking like a period piece, given that it's entirely shot in LA on location. In fact, they had to turn the cameras to make sure there were never skyscrapers in the background, and they only digitally removed one from the entire film, which is pretty remarkable when you think about it. Spinati was the cinematographer on this, and he actually did not draw from film as his inspiration, but actually from a photo book by Robert Frank called The Americans, which was known for its sort of realistic, gritty, wide range of society that it represented. And it was always used, he always used natural light in it. He tried to shoot people from all echelons of society. And so you don't have sort of like those long noir shadows that you're used to seeing in a sort of neo-noir. It's much more verite as far as the lighting goes. And so when Spinati was interviewed for American Cinematographer for how he shot the film in 1997, he said, "I tried to compose shots as if I was using a still camera. I was constantly asking myself, where would I be if I were holding a Leica? This is one reason I suggested shooting in the Super 35 widescreen format. I wanted to use a spherical lens, which for me would have to have the look and feel similar to still photo work." So he really was thinking about photo books during this time as opposed to film, which is an interesting place. I think this is the first time we've actually encountered a cinematographer who wasn't looking at another film or trying to emulate a certain style, especially for a period piece, but rather going to a book. So
yeah, I like that though, because I think one of the things I like about the movie, there's lots to like about the movie, is the sort of period piece aspect of it, the way it puts you in LA at that specific time. And not even just LA, but like Hollywood.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of LA. I'm glad you said that though, because it's LA and Hollywood. There's this duality in the movie of like, here's Hollywood, here's LA. Here's what's sold to the United States. Here's the place these people actually live.
Yeah. And I think shooting it in that way lets you kind of spend time in those locations.
Well, I think it lets you break through the veneer also, because so much of Hollywood when it's shot is veneer. It's a lot of veneer of, the lights and the Hollywood sign and the theaters and the streets and the stars on the streets. And this doesn't feel like any of that. In fact, they specifically for location scouting wanted to not choose locations that made it feel uniquely Hollywood. They wanted locations that almost felt just Southern California. And that was about it, because there are so many parts in Hollywood that aren't where celebrities live, that are just where people live and commit terrible, heinous crimes.
Go to Los Angeles,
murders.
Go to Hollywood. Like, it's not what we're sold at all.
No, there's small sections of it that are, but most of it
is kind of dingy, kind of rough. You go from where, the Oscars take place or movie premieres happen.
Yeah.
And down the streets, not an awesome neighborhood.
And not just that, it's also constantly churning. It's being bulldozed and rebuilt for profit and bulldozed and rebuilt for profit. And that is like the LA churn, and it slowly grows outwards. That LA Hollywood part grows out almost like a cancer as all those areas we're talking about just churn and churn and churn. And so they wanted to show that churning area, which I think it's just a great stylistic choice, because it sets you in Hollywood early in the film and then just pushes you into those dingier parts of LA, these small apartments, these rundown sort of projects, and it gives the movie a really unique feel.
Yeah, and it's great because the story is this crime within Hollywood. It constantly has that juxtaposition. So to be able to take that thematic element and then represent it visually and, in its setting, I think it's just really cool. It makes the movie feel weirdly consistent in that way.
Yeah. Well, I think it's thematically consistent. Like I said, so much of it's about duality, and it's also about the duality of this city. So every character sort of has two sides. Well, the city also has these two sides. On that topic, Curtis Hanson, thinking about where inspirations came from, he also specifically screened Humphrey Bogart's The Lonely Place for Guy Pearce and Russell Crowe, because they're very Australian, and he was trying to help give them some direction on how to be 1950s American. Even though I did watch both of their audition tapes, and you can see why they were cast. They are powerful in their audition tapes. In fact, when he brought those tapes to the producers originally had wanted stars in the roles, and he showed these tapes, and they were like, yeah, you can cast these two Australian guys. Like, we get it. We get it. But he really wanted sort of an unshowy behavior that he felt Humphrey Bogart brought to that role. He also talked a little bit about the history of Warner Brothers and its connection to these kind of neo-noir and noir films and these melodramas.
I get such a kick out of seeing the Warner Brother logo on the front of L.A. Confidential. Warner Brothers, the studio that brought us Edward G. Robinson as Little Caesar, James Cagney as Public Enemy, Bogart in so many great pictures, right up through Bonnie and Clyde. Entertaining melodramas all, but also unique in that they all looked at life in America through a slightly subversive lens. And I like to feel that our picture and our guys, Russell Crowe and Guy Pearce, are an extension of that tradition.
And I think the other extension of that tradition, I don't think there's any way to watch this movie without thinking of Chinatown. Yeah. I mean, it's a neo-noir thriller set in burgeoning L.A. It's soaked in color and in violence. He doesn't explicitly cite it, but the whole time I was watching this movie, I was like, this is a 90s Chinatown, and it's great. Like, yeah, it's not a knock against it at all. So that's sort of where it came from. I want to talk a little bit about what came after, because it's not what you would expect. A lot of the films that L.A. Confidential has inspired have been sort of like weird offshoots into other areas. Part of the reason being is because there's a bunch of rights issues with L.A. Confidential that are very interesting. The WB has just been clinging on to them like crazy. Now, if Paramount gets a hold of Warner Brothers, who knows what they'll do with L.A. Confidential, but they just keep producing currently pilots of a TV series for L.A. Confidential and then never airing it, just burying them. That way they can maintain the rights.
Crazy to me, because I actually think this movie has a lot going on. It could actually be expanded. Like, I would love to watch the like prestige miniseries version of this story with these characters.
Well, so Elroy and Helgeland have been trying to get it made. When Helgeland and Hanson originally wrote it, I mean, you're saying like you'd love to see it spun out. They specifically had to chop the plot down so much and focus on the three main characters that we'll get into when we get into emotional connection. But that was the only way to make this a movie. This was one of those books that was called unadaptable. And usually when you see a movie about a book that's called unadaptable, you wind up with a big hot mess. But I see why they won the Oscar for this, because Helgeland and Hanson made something very comprehensible, albeit plotty.
Yeah, but they did a good job of narrowing that focus for sure.
They absolutely did. And so I want to talk a little bit about what it inspired, but actually starting with, it inspired a novel.
Okay.
So that's one of the first
The movie inspired a novel, not the novel inspiring a novel?
No.
Okay.
So author William Landay, he cites L.A. Confidential, the film, as providing the structural inspiration for his novel, The Strangler. He's a New York Times bestselling novelist, writes a lot of crime thrillers, basically states, he has a big, long blog. I read more of it than I probably should have. He's got lots of thoughts. But he's like, there's basically, like, as many storytellers say, there's like 10 stories. They all just keep getting retold. And so he was like, which one do I want to retell? And he loves the structure specifically of the film and the three protagonist arc that you get and how difficult it is to achieve that structure, but how effective it is when you do. And so he used that in that book. So that was a big inspiration there. Collider lists L.A. Confidential among its 10 best screenplays of the 90s. That's alongside Being John Malkovich, which, by the way, I just watched the other night with my son. He'd never seen it before.
Oh, so good.
It's so good. I don't want to do it on here because I don't ever want to kick it off. I don't even know how I could. It's so good. But Pulp Fiction, Unforgiven, and Election. So it's up there with those titans of the 90s. Kind of a big deal. As I mentioned, Elroy has been actively trying to get L.A. Confidential 2 made. He's been working with Helgeland to write it. Haven't been able to do it. Elroy has a weird relationship with this film. I was telling you off mic.
Yeah.
So, and all the special features and all the interviews when this film came out, Elroy hailed it. He said they nailed it. Hanson and Helgeland absolutely got this right. He says brilliant like 3 times during the interviews. But then in 2016, during a screening at the Egyptian Theater, he like stood up and gave a really upsetting speech about what a piece of trash it was and how he's mad that this film has become how people see his characters, Ed Exley and Dudley Smith, and how Hanson completely ruined it at an event designed to celebrate Hanson's life. I don't know what to do with that other than he seems like a very volatile individual.
Yeah, I mean, that we've heard that story before.
Yeah.
And it's always really annoying. One, because I think film it's just a different medium, right? So anytime you adapt, the best adaptations are often the least loyal. And
I mean,
and so I understand, like, as an author, like, your work's going to be precious to you, and so those deviations are going to hurt a little bit. But it just seems really unfair to hold that against it when you're adapting. Adaptation is work.
I think it's a little slimy to do it after he's dead.
Well, yeah,
like
context is even slimier.
Yeah, it's like the context for me. I'm like, changing your mind about how you feel about it. That's fine. I understand feeling possessive of characters you created. They're interesting characters. They're complex characters. And knowing that the American public only knows them through this film that you don't feel represents them properly, I understand having that feeling. What I don't understand is expressing that feeling at a celebration of life for a man who made the film.
Yeah.
That's the part.
That's a dick move.
I really struggle with that. Anyway, but here's where I really want to get into the interesting inspirations. So the first one, less surprising, but still fascinating. Matt Reeves' 2022 Batman. So many people speculated that he had drawn from L.A. Confidential. Now, I have not watched the 2022 Batman. Have you?
I haven't, but I have heard. I remember when it came out, a lot of the response to it was, this isn't a superhero movie, it's a police procedural.
Yes, I heard the same thing, that this is like a mystery novel made into a movie that happens to have Batman in it. It is not a Batman movie. But many people speculated that it was very heavily based on L.A. Confidential. I wasn't able to get audio of Matt Reeves saying it, but I did find an interview with Uproxx in which they basically were like, you used L.A. Confidential for this movie, right? And he was like, yeah. You got me. And so he was inclined to agree with the interview, which I thought was funny because there are at least 3 articles online written about how, like, this movie is pulling from the place. It almost makes you want to watch the Batman.
I mean, that and Pattinson make me want to watch the Batman.
I mean, the reason I didn't watch it, honestly, is because I've
Batman fatigue?
Yeah. I mean, well, it's not just Batman fatigue. It's to me, it's more like a live action remake of a Disney movie. It might be really good. I don't need it. You have to justify your existence at a point at which we have Tim Burton's Batman and we have Nolan's Batman. You have great options for who your Batman is. Mine, of course, is Batman Returns.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my fave. But you have great choices. And so I just didn't watch it. And I like Matt Reeves. I really like Matt Reeves. The other one, though, and this absolutely killed me. Dan Greger and Doug Mann, writers of the 2022 Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Have you seen that movie?
I love that movie.
Fucking awesome.
It's so good.
I love that movie. And I quote by Dan Greger, "We were inspired by L.A. Confidential and the theme of underground plastic surgery for actors."
So good.
That's it, man. That's what I've got on L.A. Confidential and its cinematic importance. You want to take us through The Departed?
The Departed.
I'm going to try not to do my very poor Boston accent. I've been away from Boston too long, and it's going to sound bad.
So The Departed opened October 6th, 2006, had a massive budget of $90 million, which for like a crime drama just seems outrageous. I think we can agree.
For Scorsese, it doesn't seem outrageous anymore.
Yeah, but I also think like the cast doesn't come cheaply.
I will tell you minimum half that budget was Leo, Jack, and fucking not even Matt Damon, really.
Not at the time.
Yeah.
Now.
Leo, Jack. That was probably it right there.
But it did
open. Jack
open.
pulled more money than Leo did.
Probably. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
It opened to $26.9 million, went on to make $291 million worldwide.
That was 10 of those dollars.
Yeah. I saw it in theaters as well. Successful. Definitely made its budget back and then some. And then had a really successful awards run. What I love about the box office is it made most of its money, vast majority, like 90%, before award season. Mm-hmm. So this movie hit the culture, hit the zeitgeist, was a big hit because it was entertaining and accessible and fun and good, not because it had prestige attached to it.
Yeah.
Which is always great. I wish more movies like that hit the awards circuit.
You say this every time, and I point to 10 movies every time that do. We just watched F1 as a Best Picture nominee.
Yeah, I think since the Academy has expanded to 10 Best Picture nominations, though, they throw those in there for that reason. It's to shut people like me up.
And yet it doesn't work.
Nothing will shut me up. I'm sitting here with a microphone.
And you're still shouting about how you want to see more popular movies nominated for Best Picture, despite the fact that every year there are great popular movies.
I want them to win, and I want them to get the smaller awards too.
Continue.
But anyway, I think it's great. I think it's great because it hits both, I think, really well. It has all the things that I think would make an Oscar voter happy while also connecting with an audience. It was nominated for 5 Academy Awards. It won 4, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Editing. The one it lost was a Supporting Actor nomination for Mark Wahlberg. It was also nominated for 6 Golden Globes, and it won for Best Director. It's not on the AFI Top 100. It is not, surprisingly, in the New York Times 1000 Essential. I would have expected it there, given some of the others.
I would have expected it there, too. I wonder if because it's a remake, is what, dings it in their book? I don't know.
Maybe.
Not saying on AFI. I mean, AFI updated in 2007. This movie came out in 2006, so
that's not shocking at all. I wish they would update that again. We're coming on 20 years next year.
I know. They did a 10-year update, and now it's where are you guys at? We really would like to have some new movies to talk about.
A lot of movies have come out in America since 2007.
And some need to get knocked off the list. Looking at you, Ben-Hur.
Yeah. That movie's boring.
That movie's mad boring. Looking at you, too, Forrest Gump.
You hate that movie so much.
I really dislike it.
It's not great, but
it doesn't belong. It doesn't belong on the list. Yeah. I would probably hate it less if they took it off the list.
If it wasn't as
I'd probably feel better about it.
It is in the IMDb Top 250. It's at 169. It is in the Letterboxd Top 500 at 118. It has a 4.3 Letterboxd star rating. Very well loved. And then the review that I pulled from Letterboxd, and I've lost it, so I can't tell you who it's from. I will figure that out because it is important to give credit.
Gotta give credit when credit's due, Jizz Monkey.
I know, it's not as fun as Jizz Monkey, so there's that.
Is it a monkey made out of jizz? Is a monkey that's jizzing? Is it just jizz that has been hardened and then shaped into the form of a monkey?
I mean, I think of it as jizz monkey, but the way we say grease monkey, and that's very disturbing.
So it's like a grease monkey gets underneath the hood of a car and fixes it. So he gets underneath the hood of your testicles and fixes them?
Exactly.
Neat.
That's exactly my interpretation.
Cool.
But the review says it is a symphony of profanity and basically the epitome of Hollywood entertainment. One of those films where you see the Warner Brothers logo and you know you're in for a fucking movie. Front to back, this is top-tier Scorsese, hot-blooded, tightly plotted, paced within an inch of its life, and loaded with star performances. I agree.
Yes.
When we talk about inspiration for the movie, what kind of came before it, Martin Scorsese is known for screening films for his actors before shooting movies, as a lot of directors are. You mentioned it.
I mentioned Curtis Hanson specifically screened, yeah.
And there was a Letterboxd retrospective conversation between Leonardo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese.
Was it a recent one?
It was not too recent.
Oh, okay.
Because they talk about The Aviator, they talk about this kind of when they were working together, making all those movies together. There was that 5-10 year period.
Dude, I mean, they're back on it again. They're back on it again.
And in that conversation, they do talk about this movie.
Ashes and Diamonds was so powerful when I saw it. I must have been 20 years old. And here's this guy who's stuck. Ashes and Diamonds takes place all in one day and night. Departed doesn't. But your character in Departed is stuck in the shooting war that he didn't plan on. And he's getting shot at. He doesn't know why he's there. All we know is that ultimately he's trying to find out what's right in this world with no morality of any kind. It's ground zero. Maybe the psychiatrist, played by Vera, has some a lifeline to him. And what happens to this poor guy? For the first time in his life, he gets some direction. He falls in love, and he dies. And the same as in Ashes and Diamonds. And instead, he finds this love, and he doesn't know where's the moral foundation in all of this, in particularly the political systems. You have fascism, right. Nazism and fascism is out, Soviet in. Now what? And suddenly the same people are being killed. It's crazy. And meantime, he says, why can't I just love this woman? And bam.
In that same conversation, Leonardo DiCaprio kind of makes a joke that Martin Scorsese has seen every movie ever made. and that he brings that knowledge, that literacy of film into his movies every time.
That was one of the big critiques of Shutter Island, I remember, is that everyone's like, this is just a remix of like 30 of Marty's favorite movies.
So?
I actually don't care for Shutter Island that much, but that's not why.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marty, I mean, Martin Scorsese, it's ridiculous. Did you see what he said about AI this week?
No.
Marty's coming out in favor. He said he used AI to storyboard his upcoming film. And Boots Riley fucking came at him online like hard. He basically said he's either in AI's pocket and he doesn't give a shit because he's old and he's just trying to make money for his family, or he's lost his mind. And I was like, dang, Boots.
I think that's harsh. I could actually see why a director would want to use AI for something specifically like storyboarding, right? Because in that early gestation phase of a movie, like that could be very personal. You would want to kind of have a certain control over it, throwing ideas at the wall, figuring out what works. AI seems like a good tool for that in Marty's defense.
I'm so split on it though, because I think of like visionaries. Like, I mean, Spielberg wasn't in direct response to Scorsese, but he basically had to make his AI statement with Disclosure Day coming out. And he was like, no, I do my own storyboarding. Like, I want to visualize exactly what it is. I have it in my head. I'm going to put it down. I'm not going to use AI. And so there's a split coming in Hollywood. I mean, reality is AI is coming whether they protest against it or not. But there is like this cultural divide that's happening. And honestly, the only reason I bring it up because my biggest concern is that great people may not collaborate because it's creating a political divide in like the entertainment landscape. And I don't want to see that.
You can see people being like, I won't work with that guy because he's pro AI.
And like we're watching 2 movies this week that are fucking incredible collaborations between so many disparate elements of Hollywood, of writers, of the world. I mean, 2 Australian actors in my movie. I just don't want to see the world where they're not working together for those reasons. So, a little bit of a side off-ramp, but yeah.
Some of the other kind of older movies that Scorsese says inspired this, there is Scarface, the original Howard Hawks 1932 movie, actually borrows an X motif where visual X's foreshadow either the physical or moral death of a character. There's like cross beams in buildings, tape on windows. Directly borrowed. He credits it. He talks about The Third Man from 1949, that the funeral scene towards the end where Madeline Madden just walks past Sullivan directly out of the camera frame, doesn't acknowledge his existence, is like a direct remake of the closing scene of The Third Man.
Have you seen The Third Man?
I haven't.
I really want to do it on here. I love The Third Man.
You mentioned that.
And like, it's just about the worst best friend a guy could have. And I want to do a bad best friends episode so bad. And I think The Third Man's a great candidate.
Scorsese also says he wanted to honor like post-war B movies like The Steel Helmet or Dirty Harry. And then, of course, you can't talk about this movie without talking about the fact that it's a remake. So there was the Hong Kong crime thriller drama Infernal Affairs. Clearly, that had influence on this. It's a remake.
Just a smidge. So it's directly adapted from that screenplay.
Yeah. What's kind of cool is the adaptation, the screenwriter, William Monahan, who won the Oscar for adapted screenplay, didn't watch the movie. He adapted his screenplay from a translation of the original Chinese screenplay.
Whenever I hear about people not watching the movie, not reading the book, like you know what I'm talking about, right? Like there's always some filmmaker who's like, oh, I didn't read the book, but I made the movie. I have this like split in my soul where I'm like, were you being lazy and you just didn't want to do it? Or were you deliberately trying to protect yourself from somebody else's vision of it?
In this case, it's that. He says that he wanted to, there's inspiration from real life gangsters like Whitey Bulger,
Whitey Bulger, yeah.
Yeah.
He is a famous Boston gangster. His second appearance on this show, although a previous iteration of it, we did discuss how he had been arrested right around one of our films came out. I think it was The Hunger Games.
Yeah. And that he wanted to be able to place it in Boston. He wanted to make sure that it had like an American sensibility, sort of our system of law and crime. And so that's why he didn't want to have it, too tainted, I guess, by that outside influence. That said, I kind of agree. Like, if you want something that's super original, maybe don't do a remake.
Well, they didn't want to do super original. They wanted to do just the right amount of original. Yeah. Adapted original.
The original director, Andy Lau of Infernal Affairs, gives The Departed an 8 out of 10. He
that's not bad.
which is solid.
Yeah, but it feels like a little bit of a slap in the face. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not a 9 out of 10. It's not a 7 out of 10. It's fine. It's good. I liked it.
He praised the direction, and he did praise specifically how it was changed to be tuned to American sensibilities. That it was an American version of his movie, not just an English language remake of his story.
The movie feels very American.
Very American.
Both of these films. I actually love that we wound up on both coasts with completely different eras. Both films feel like crazy American.
Super American. His criticism, funny enough, is it had too much foul language. And then he also said that his movie had more female characters, and some of those female characters were actually composited into Vera Farmiga's character. And that was his other sort of knock on the movie.
That is actually one of my knocks on the movie. That is one of my
I think it's fair.
I mean, honestly, the movies that we're doing next week, I feel that way about one of them as well, where I'm just like, why can male writers just not put female characters in the movie? Is it because they don't know how to, or because they don't want to? Whichever one it is, get a female co-writer.
Try harder.
Well, yeah, get a female co-writer. If you can't figure out how to do it, but women exist in the world, they need to exist in your movies. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it does sort of take you out of the realism a little bit when you eliminate half the population.
I mean, Queenan doesn't even have a fucking wife for some reason, and that guy definitely has a wife, but the only evidence of it are some pictures in a hallway.
Yeah, and I mean, if there's any character in this movie that obviously goes home to a wife, it's Queenan.
Yeah, if there's any character who obviously has female influence in his life as well, it's Queenan, but we never get to see that female influence. It's nuts.
Yeah. Looking forward, things that were inspired by or influenced by. The obvious one is Ben Affleck's The Town.
I like that movie.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think that's a solid movie.
Yeah.
But that has the Boston criminal landscape, that sort of hyper-localized Boston dialogue, and then just the tense dynamics of a procedural. Ben Affleck also is famously best friends with Matt Damon. The influence is obvious.
Yeah, they grew up together.
Gareth Evans of The Raid has discussed Scorsese's sort of massive universal influence on action and crime generally, but in The Raid 2, there is direct mirroring of this undercover cop, the tension, paranoia.
One of the things I really liked about The Raid 2 is it was very reminiscent of The Departed. When I watched it, I was like, this feels like hyper action kung fu The Departed.
Yeah. Funny enough, this American remake of an international film inspired international remakes of the American film.
Neat.
So Japan has a two-parter called Double Face. India has a movie called Homam, which is not officially a remake, but the director openly acknowledges that the narrative was loosely based on The Departed.
Okay.
And then
what's an official remake when you openly acknowledge that it's based on it?
You pay for it or you don't, probably. Yeah. And then there's a Turkish television series, which is officially an adaptation called, I'm going to screw this up, Iserde? I don't know. ICERDE, and there's some squiggles and accent
that
marks
makes it
on
a
there.
soft C, yeah. So it's definitely in Iserd, but I don't know how to speak Turkish. But
Sorry.
I can give you the C sound.
I thought it was funny that the remake has remakes.
Well, what's really interesting is you go across. I mean, this is crossing international boundaries from Asia to the United States, back to Asia, but different countries. This story, I mean, there must be something very universal about it for all societies and nations if it can bounce across borders so easily like that. I mean, maybe not easily. I mean, it's a hard work to adapt, but that people want to put the work in to adapt it. There's just, I don't know. That is unique. You don't see that happen very often.
It's obviously sticky, right?
Well, yeah, I should say so.
And then back to Affleck, there's a Super Bowl commercial for Dunkin' Donuts.
God damn it.
Where
dude, those people in their Dunkin', I swear to God, when you ask somebody, when I moved to Boston, I would ask them, I said, why do you like Dunkin' Donuts? Their coffee's not good and you don't eat their donuts. So what are you going there for? And I swear to God, I don't care who I asked, how many times I asked it, and I asked it a lot. The answer was always the same. Good for what it is.
What it is.
Swear to God.
I mean,
it's always the same.
It's not Starbucks.
It feels like it was Dunkin's commercial in the 80s and they all grew up hearing, it's good for what it is. And now that's just what they repeat. I have no idea.
In that commercial, the plot is basically that Affleck is getting mistaken for Matt Damon, and they're praising him specifically for his performance in The Departed.
In The Departed.
And so Affleck sort of plays along, but also is self-flagellating about the performance, which I think is kind of funny.
Also not believable because everybody in Boston thinks that nobody in movies can do Boston accents, even if those people are from Boston. Everybody trashed this movie when I lived in Boston. They're like, their accents are wrong.
That's funny.
And I was like, you should turn on a tape recorder.
And then we did talk a little bit about the awards that it won. It won 4 Oscars, 5 nominations, which is actually the fewest nominations for a Best Picture winner. At 5.
It was the fewest?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, usually the eventual Best Picture winner gets more.
Has more nominations. Even if it doesn't have more wins, it has more nominations.
At the time, at least that was the case. And so there was this like weird controversy that kind of overtook the discourse about whether or not The Departed was being awarded on its own merits or if it was like a compensatory lifetime achievement award for Martin Scorsese. The criticisms were that it was sort of just a highly digestible commercial thriller that like dumbed down infernal affairs for Americans. But the supporters say that it didn't copy it. It did something unique. It didn't dumb it down for Americans. It made it American and told an American story using the plot as a framing.
What did it beat?
Oh, that is a fantastic question. I think
I got it. You can keep going. I'll look it up for you.
The Departed was up against Babel, Letters from Iwo Jima, Little Miss Sunshine, and The Queen. What did people want to win?
Honestly, did you want to win? Little Miss Sunshine is not a good movie. It has some good performances, but that movie, for my money, is a bit of a mess.
The Queen, I remember liking. That's another one that's like good for what it is.
Yeah, I don't think I saw The Queen. And then you said Letters from Iwo Jima. I didn't see that one, so I can't say for sure. But
yeah,
I don't feel like that was the winner.
And Babel might be my least favorite Inarritu.
I think it's my least favorite Inarritu too. But the problem with Inarritu is he makes really good first and second acts, and his third acts are implosions.
Yeah,
like his movies never land for me.
And it is the one movie of those 5 that wasn't nominated for director. That went to Paul Greengrass for United 93, which I think is a good movie. But I don't know that it would have beat The Departed in my book.
I think The Departed is the runaway winner in that lineup. So I remember people saying that like this was his Lifetime Achievement Award. And I was like, yeah, but his Lifetime Achievement was making a really fucking great movie.
Right. And
that explores like crime and duality of police and like identity. That is a really fun popcorn movie that he's accomplishing both at the same time. Isn't that what we should be giving?
That's what we should be praising. And I think, I don't know. I feel like my own just sort of armchair analysis.
You're just going to express your feelings just here on the internet and share it out. What gives you the right?
It was less
What gives you the fucking right?
The microphone. The cameras, the lights. I don't fucking know.
This little board over here. I can mute you.
No, is that it was less, I think, a response to The Departed not being good and more that it felt so inevitable that like going in, it was like, this is the year that Marty Scorsese is going to get his Oscar. To the degree that when it was time to present Best Director, the Academy had, like, I think it was like Spielberg and Coppola and a bunch of people like go on stage to present the award because they knew that it was going to.
Because it's his fucking turn.
Yeah.
Because they made him wait so long.
So I think if I had to guess, it's not so much of a controversy that it was undeserved, but that it was so obvious.
What would you have given it to Marty for before this? If you had the chance.
It's a good question. Taxi Driver?
That feels like the only one.
Yeah.
Maybe Raging Bull.
Yeah, maybe Raging Bull.
And this is about thinking about what they're up against, right? Just saying, if we're giving Marty his achievement award, right? Like, what are you giving it to him for? I mean, a lot of people would say Goodfellas. A lot of people would
say Goodfellas. I know you're less of a fan of that movie than I am.
I do not like Goodfellas. Yeah. I think it is a bad movie.
Goodfellas actually, if we're looking at them, the one that seems the most like would have won an Oscar would probably be Goodfellas.
Yeah. And that would have been his like, hey, it's his turn kind of movie as well.
But I think, similar to
because at that point he'd been making movies already for 25, no, I guess not 25, for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Goodfellas.
I think it's similar to DiCaprio, right? Like DiCaprio, everyone was like, how does this guy not have an Oscar? He's so great. He's been in so many great movies. And it's like, yeah, but you kind of have to look at it year by year and, eventually it happens.
I think with DiCaprio, though, it's different. His performances are rarely the best part of the movie he's in. He is a solid workhorse actor that always delivers, but it is rare that he is the best part of the movie that he's in.
Yeah.
At least that's my and for this, I think he's great in The Departed. I love him in The Departed. He's not the best part.
He's not the best part. No. But I think it's
Not the best part of Titanic.
It's sort of similar in that someone having a great career with a ton of great performances doesn't mean that they were robbed every time they didn't win.
Exactly. He's not even the best part of Catch Me If You Can. No. Yeah. And honestly, like that.
And he's fantastic.
And that might actually be one of my favorite performances of his. And Tom Hanks, if I'm giving it to lead on somebody, I'm going to give the lead to Tom Hanks in that one. So it's time.
It is time.
We're going to select which film has the most cinematic importance based on its lineage and its influence over films coming after it. This feels like a pretty damn easy one.
I think it's easy, but I also almost wish it wasn't.
I kind of wish it wasn't too, and I think that a lot of it has more to do with business than it has to do with specifically why that, like, anyway.
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
3. We're both giving it to The Departed.
I just knocked mine off. But yeah, my little this is important guy. Yeah, I mean, it's crossed international boundaries. It's influenced kung fu films.
And the fact that it is the movie that got Scorsese his Oscar, I think, matters.
All of it matters a lot. Yeah. Even though L.A. Confidential is really superb filmmaking, got Curtis Hanson an Oscar, who is also just a great filmmaker, not as well known, of course, as Scorsese, but has made some fucking awesome movies, as we've been learning on this podcast. So
we have been learning. I didn't go into this podcast knowing that, but I do now.
Yeah, I know. I didn't go into it either. I didn't even know Curtis Hanson's name, and now I'm like, am I a Curtis Hanson fan? I might be.
I think so.
I think it might be happening. Okie dokie. Well, let's switch out the labels. We're going to move from cinematic importance now into emotional connection. The Departed took that one handily, even though it's sort of unfortunate because we'd like to see L.A. Confidential having a little more influence in the future. Now it's time to jump into the emotional connection. We're going to investigate both films, take a look at the performances, and see which one touched our cold little hearts.
What do you do on Badge of Honor, Jack?
I'm the technical advisor. I teach Brett Chase how to walk and talk like a cop.
Brett Chase doesn't walk and talk like you.
Well, that's because he's the television version. America isn't ready for the real me.
Is it true you're the one who arrested Bob Mitchum? These Badge of Honor guys like to pretend, but being the real thing must be a thrill.
Why don't you and I go someplace quiet? Because I'd love to give you the lowdown on Mitchum.
Big V. Jack Vincent.
Hey.
May I have this dance?
Of course. Karen, this is Sid Hutchins from Hush Hush Magazine.
Hello, Karen.
Hello yourself.
What's that about?
We did a piece last year, Ingenue Dykes in Hollywood. Her name got mentioned. Hey, Jackie boy. A friend of mine just sold some reefer to Matt Reynolds. He's tripping the life fantastic with Tammy Jordan.
Sorry, I lost you for a second, Sid.
Contract players, Metro. You pinch them, I do you up nice feature next issue. Plus usual 50 cash.
No, I need another 50. 2 20s for 2 patrolmen and a dime for the watch commander at Hollywood Station.
Jackie, it's Christmas.
No, it's not. It's felony possession of marijuana.
Actually, in circulation 36,000 and climbing. There's no telling where this is going to go. Radio, television. Once you whet the public's appetite for the truth, the sky's the limit.
The only way into this movie is through its characters.
Absolutely.
Because the plot is so twisty, turny. That review from Jizz Monkey highlighted it. The fact that Curtis Hanson and Helgeland had to cut it down even from what it was before into making it a character-driven piece. The fact that when I was watching this film, I probably took more notes than I've ever taken before, and I was watching it with my wife and son, and about halfway in, we paused, and I read them the notes so that we were all up to speed with what was happening. And so I want to start with Jack Vincent specifically because he is such a great representation of this duality of that Hollywood that's being sold versus that L.A. that actually exists, because he is part of this sales machine, even though he's a police officer, which is such a fascinating character.
It's a great character.
And I also want to talk about him because Curtis Hanson's direction to Kevin Spacey when he began this role, which I believe comes as no surprise to anyone, was Dean Martin.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just said, be Dean Martin. And Spacey was like, got it. All right.
I can do that.
I can do that. I can do D. Martin. And he does. And he does it fantastically. I love Kevin Spacey in this role.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're uncanceling. We're in the process of uncanceling Kevin Spacey right now. Is that right?
I mean, he's been, I think, acquitted in court.
Yeah.
So we probably should at least consider doing so.
I know he asked to. I guess he was in Israel doing some lounge singing for a while, barely making his bills from what I read recently. He's a superb actor.
Mm-hmm.
This goes way back to the beginning of this show. It's like Woody Allen was never, I mean, he was accused of lots of things, but he was never actually convicted of anything. Kevin Spacey was accused of a lot of things. He probably did some things that were untoward, if we're all being honest with ourselves, but the fact of the matter is...
he's a Hollywood actor. He's probably a slime ball.
But he was, to your point, like, he was never convicted of anything, as far as I know. And he's a superb actor. I've loved Kevin Spacey in... Even when he's been in bad movies, I've liked him in them. Like, Pay It Forward is a piece of trash. But I still kind of like Kevin
pretty
Spacey.
good in it. And in this, too, if you kind of don't like Kevin Spacey, there's a sliminess to this character that you could still attach to.
Well, that's something that makes this film really, really unique, is that not only do you have three protagonists in Bud, Ed, and Jack, you have three unlikable protagonists.
Unlikable, and yet, because in the past, I've had problems with unlikable characters, right?
Yeah, but you also sometimes you like them.
And in this, they're three very flawed characters with real reasons to dislike them.
Yeah.
And yet I don't hate any of them.
No, you want to get involved. One of the things Curtis Hanson said when he wanted to start working on the screenplay was that he read the book and he was like, I have three unlikable protagonists and yet I'm emotionally invested in all three. And that's a magic trick that I want to replicate for film, which I think he succeeds at.
I do too. Absolutely.
And a lot of that is in the casting because this movie is really, really brilliantly cast. I think that maybe the one hiccup is Russell Crowe, and he's not bad in it. I just don't think that is brilliant casting. In fact, Curtis Hanson went on to work with this casting director.
But in
4 of his 5 movies.
1997, Russell Crowe may have even played differently, right? Like, because I think having lesser known actors in those two roles is a challenge when following the twisty plot. But I actually think it's good because you're able to see the character and not the actor.
No, I agree with all of that. I actually don't think he was physically big enough, and I think his layers were a little too difficult to see early on. I got to a point, as much as the characters were dislikable, I hated his character about halfway into the movie because I was like, this like knight in tainted armor shit with like the background of his like dad being a wife abuser and that's why he protects women was a little flat for me.
Okay.
I just wanted more from that. But Jack Vincennes for me is such a superb character. So specifically though around him, so they actually talk about this other character that he and Sid, played by Danny DeVito, end up using twice. And I actually want to discuss those two uses of this character.
Yeah.
His name is Matt Reynolds. He's like a young up-and-coming actor, but they're both like, oh, he's never going to make it. So we're going to exploit his desire for attention, his desire for success. So in this first instance, they set up an arrest for him with marijuana, felony possession of marijuana. That scene might have been, I don't know if it's my favorite scene of the whole movie, but it was a scene where I was like, I'm locked in.
It's the one that gets you in. Yeah, you're like, okay, I am here for whatever's coming next.
Because
for
you
sure.
see the arrest, and I love with the arrest the way it's blocked, lit, and written as though it is a scene for film.
Yeah, they discuss before they go in, you're going to do the perp walk, you're going to stop here, you're going to turn, the movie premiere is going to be in the background.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
And it's the perfect kind of crime to sell to the U.S. as to why LA's a fun, exciting city, right? He's getting arrested for felony possession of marijuana. He's a young actor. That isn't something that makes you scared of LA and not want the culture. No. That's
in
sexy.
1950, that's edgy enough, right? Like now, it's an absolute nothing.
Yeah, it would be
then
nothing.
it's edgy enough to be like a little dangerous, but in a fun, sexy way.
Maybe I actually want to move there. People are having a good time.
Yeah.
Like it looks like he's having fun, and yeah, he got his wrist slapped for it, right? And he should have known better. But nobody's mad at him for what he did. They're mad at him for getting caught. That's how you see it being sold, and it's just a really, really phenomenally done scene, and that is a scene within a scene.
Yeah.
So that's the good press. On the flip side, at the end of the film, when they use Matt Reynolds again, so now he's out of jail, a lot of time passes in this movie, an unknown amount of time, in fact, because a lot of characters sort of get into trouble and then back out of trouble. And Matt Reynolds is one who goes to jail, comes back, and then this time they use him as a honeypot to blackmail the DA. So this is something that they don't necessarily want in the press because this isn't something that would look as good, but they're going to use it to exercise power over the DA at this time. And this is the bad press because this is when Jack Vincennes has his change of heart, the tin man that grows his heart, right? Is that he decides he wants to go in and basically save Matt Reynolds from this. He doesn't feel good about it. He took $50, which feels like such a small sum of money for what they're doing.
It's $500 then.
But at the time, it's a lot of money. But I think, look at the way Jack's dressed. Like he doesn't need $500.
No.
Like that Jack's been taking so much money as this technical advisor. And he goes in and he finds, him dead on the floor in a puddle, but I think it's like his throat slit. Like something really awful,
graphic.
gruesome.
Yeah.
Really, really gruesome. And this is the press that they don't want in LA. This is exactly the kind of story that they would never want to let get out. And this irony of the fact that Sid writes for this paper called Hush Hush, and yet he shares everything about what's going on in LA except for the stories that make LA look bad, except for the stories that don't make people want to come, except for the stories that don't generate a circulation. This is reality TV, man.
It's gossip. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be scandalous, but not scandalous
dangerous
enough.
It should never feel dangerous or scary, right? It's the type of crime you want. This goes back to our Nightcrawler episode, right? Like we want crimes in this part of the city that they want people to feel scared in this moment, right? This movie is the opposite coin. They don't want people to feel scared. They want them to feel like edgy, fun, dangerous, and that's what LA is all about.
It has to be sexy.
Exactly. And Jack is the personification of that sexiness and of that reality. He's both. And this is where when he's talking to that ingenue about America can't handle the real Jack yet, because there's two sides to the real Jack. The Jack that's on TV and Badge of Honor, that's just the one side. And America can handle the one side. They can't handle the other one where he finds dead bodies in hotels.
The same goes for Los Angeles.
Exactly. So good. So good. There's that. Now let's try at least to get into Ed Exley. Actually, before I do that, I do have to talk about one thing because there's another great scene. And since we are just spoiling now, because literally Scorsese already gave a spoiler and everyone's seen The Departed.
It's been 20 years.
When Jack dies in the film, which he does, which shocked the hell out of me, by the way, Dudley kills him in his own house. And that exercise of power, that this policeman feels he has that amount of power that he can lie his way out of shooting a detective in his own home with his own pistol, is an incredible show of how power dynamics in this city function. That he has that kind of confidence to do it. It lets you know what kind of city you're in, if you didn't already know, and what you're set up for at the end. That like this guy doesn't just have money, he doesn't just have influence, but he has true power in a way that probably no other character I think in this film does. Including Strathairn's character, who feels like he has a lot of sort of shadow power, but I don't think he could shoot a man in his house power.
Correct.
All right, Ed Exley. Ed Exley is played by Guy Pearce. And he is your Boy Scout political character. I think Dudley actually breaks up the world into smart men and direct men. He specifically says that Ed Exley is a smart man, but not a direct man. And he frequently asks him if he would, for all intents and purposes, commit crimes in order to accomplish his goals. And he routinely answers no, he would not. But what he does do to accomplish his goals feels... I don't know. He's hard to untangle for me. He's not as clear cut as Vincennes.
I think what I like about Ed Exley, you were going here, is you resent Ed Exley for doing what on paper is often the right thing, but it's because he's exploiting it for his own benefit that it feels so slimy.
Yeah, he is telling on bad cops, but he's doing it in a way that propels his career forward, but it doesn't build him any social capital. And he is living, like it feels like he's walking out on a wire with each move that he makes because he loses more and more support around him, but he's trying to make this jump into power. What he doesn't know at the time, of course, is that Dudley's the corrupt cop. This is where I actually want to pause, though, because Ed Exley was the one who I thought was the corrupt cop.
I think he's set up for you to feel that way, though. I think because he's telling on the bad cops, but it's always because he's like kind of a politician at heart. He's trying to move up the bureaucratic ladder. I think he's the one who is in the pursuit of power. And I think we're trained as an audience to distrust anyone who's in the pursuit of power.
It was the Rolex for me. It wasn't any of that. It was that he was wearing a Rolex and that his father was a cop and that he was a cop.
And he shouldn't have a Rolex.
And he shouldn't have
how does he get a Rolex except if he's a bad guy?
It felt like such a red herring to me because even though I'm usually not prone to going down those, I don't trust this character, he's in pursuit of power. I've watched too many movies. I know when I'm being thrown a red, like that's a red herring, right? I know when I'm being thrown one. But the Rolex was very confusing to me because it's one of those moments where you get maybe 6 frames of it, right? You don't get a long look at his Rolex, which means got to keep your eyes peeled for the little details. And all of these characters are all about the details, from his glasses to his suits to his tie. Everything about the way each character dresses is so important to who their character is that Rolex really jumped out at me. And so when he was not the crooked cop, I don't know, I was surprised. I think maybe The Departed also was in my head because Alec Baldwin's character has the whole thing about nobody trusts a guy with a perfect record. I got a perfect record. And then you're sitting there looking at Sullivan, who's got a perfect record. You're like, this guy's dirty as fuck.
The worst guy.
He's like literally the worst guy in the world. And so you're looking at Exley, and Exley also has that perfect record. And so you think he's on the take in some smarter way. That's what I'm saying. Like,
that the conspiracy is deeper with him.
Exactly, because Jack Vincennes literally takes $50 out in the open. I mean, there's at one point where he holds it up in the air, which I was just like, man, again, that power, like that confidence.
Just the ballsiness of
the
it.
The hubris of a police officer to stand there and hold a bribe up in the air and be like, what do I fucking care? I'm Jack Vincennes. Like, what are you going to do to me? And I was like, Ed is smarter than that. Like, Jack is smart, but Ed's smarter. And Ed knows how to be on the take on a different level. And I'm still honestly not convinced. I haven't read the books, but I would not be surprised if Ed was on the take in some way and that somehow it got cleaned up in the movie. That is my current theory. I do actually plan on reading L.A. Confidential when we wrap up this episode. It's not next on my reading list because I'm like, it's too good. That's sort of Ed and his machinations. You know, I have a scene on here. We don't need to play it, but of him like basically trading cops and trying to get rid of Bud White specifically and his partner, whose name was Stansland? Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, that really dirty cop who brings all the liquor and then generates, again, bad press for the police force, which I love the good and bad press plays, where it's like when bad press comes and make a bunch of deals to sweep it under the rug, when the good press comes, they do everything they can to elevate the heroes and get them in the paper and get their faces out there. Yeah. It's this huge political machine, and Ed's like the only one who gets it. And then finally, let's Bud White it, shall we?
Let's Bud White it.
All they get is Veronica Lake. I get Lynn Margaret Bracken. Bisbee.
I grew up there. I'm going back in a couple of years. Open up a dress shop. The girls in Bisbee need a little glamour. Where'd this come from?
When I was 12, my old man went after my mother with a bottle. I got in the way.
So you saved her?
Not for long.
I'm sorry, it's none of my
He
business.
tied me to the radiator. I watched him beat my mother to death with a tire iron. And he left me there. 3 days before a truant officer found us. They never found the old man.
This is the only moment that you get any insight into why Bud White violently attacks domestic abusers. And he is vicious with them. And I think that I have on our notes like the violence of this movie, and he in a lot of ways represents like the raw.
It's a blind rage that he goes into.
It is. It's not. Everything Ed Exley does is calculated, is unemotional. Bud White's existence on the force, it's so hard to not watch this movie and have this conversation without continuing to go to The Departed and say things. There's a scene, and I know you're going to play it, where they say some people want to look like a cop and some people want to be a cop. Which one do you want? Bud wants to look like a cop. Bud just wants the badge so he can beat the shit out of domestic abusers. He doesn't care about being a police officer. he states that he wants to be a detective in homicide, but why, like, I find that interesting because I'm like, does he want to get away from the violence and chasing domestic abusers, or is he going to keep doing that even as a homicide investigator? Or is his motivation to become a homicide detective simply because he wants to now hunt down the men who have killed their wives and have an excuse to kill them?
Yeah.
Which we do see in the film. There's a moment at which a man has a woman tied up and he's presumably raping and beating her on a regular basis, and he shoots him in the chest unarmed. And it's galling. Like, you're like, yeah, that guy probably deserved what he got, but not in the way that he got it.
Yeah, I think what's great about the Bud character, I think, is the way that Dudley Smith uses him. Dudley knows that about him. And so he knows that he can use him as a hitman. He can get him to go into this blind, violent rage just by dangling an abuser in front of him.
Yeah.
That he has this hair trigger that's really easy to set off. And that makes him such a useful tool. He's the direct man.
That's how he gets him to, well, that's how he gets him to attack Sid. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, which when he attacks Sid, tied up, by the way, like, there are so many moments where Bud White is a really hard character for me.
Yeah. I mean, they give him his save the cat moment early on, right? Where he sees the he sees the woman who had a nose job but perceives it as her having been hit. And so he jumps in and is like, hey, like, are you okay? Let me protect you.
But we see that and we know that's a nose job.
Yeah.
Like, nothing about that looks like domestic abuse. Like, he is so zeroed in on one single type of crime. He doesn't, I mean, do you see him up until kind of the denouement and the climax of the film, do you see him go after any other type of criminal apart from domestic abusers or men abusing women?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's zeroed in.
Yeah, like, he is laser focused on literally one type of criminal. He's pathological. Of all the characters in this movie, he's pathological. And I don't even know that that's a save the cat moment, because for me, I was like, that guy's a fool and he's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's all I thought in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, you're right in that it, in one sense, shows humanity because, yes, he's laser focused. He only cares about one type of criminal, but it's a type of criminal that we all hate, right? So we can
it is.
We can
it's
relate
like shooting Nazis,
to that.
right?
But yes, on the other hand, I knew it was a nose job. You knew it was a nose job, and so
he's sitting in the back of a very expensive car with straps and slightly blackened eyes.
Is he seeing what he wants to see?
Exactly. He's everywhere he looks, he sees domestic abuse. I mean, that's what he thinks is going on.
He's a hammer in search of a nail.
He really is. That's what he sees with Lynn Bracken initially. I would love to get into Lynn Bracken's character. I want to do justice to time because Kim Basinger does an amazing job. My only side against her is that she does not look like Veronica Lake, but I don't think that's her fault.
And she was nominated. Did she win?
She won.
She won supporting actress
and
for this.
And
I have no problem with that.
I have no problem with that. She gives a superb performance in this movie. I love that she represents this fulcrum point between Bud White and Ed Exley as well. Vera Farmiga is like, it's
these
shocking.
movies have like more than just the reason we picked them, which is the double cross.
It's
so many parallels.
These movies are about duality of nature and these two different sides of like people and police force, but they also are two sides of sort of the same movie in some ways, which is just deeply fascinating as we got into it. And Vera Farmiga's character is such a great analog to Lynn Bracken. I like Lynn Bracken's character more. Like between the two, I think that she has more layers, she has more depth, and
her sins are, I think, a little less extreme or a little less obvious.
I don't know that she has sins. I think she's one of the only moral characters in here. I also love that, like, she's also, in some ways, has the same goals as everybody else. She's going to go sell L.A. back to Bisbee, Arizona. Like, those girls back there need a little glamour in their life. She's doing the same thing. I'm going to take L.A. and I'm going to export it back to the middle states, the flyover states, because we want to bring this culture there. She understands the business and how to make a buck off of it, which is something Bud White does not understand at all.
Yeah.
And honestly, Ed Exley doesn't really fully understand, although he is willing to go along with it, which is why he always takes off his glasses, because he's willing to sell his image. These characters are, I mean, for a 3.5-hander, 4-hander movie, 5-hander, like, because Dudley Smith and Cromwell, everyone's really firing it. I mean, if Russell Crowe's the weakest link in this cast, that's only because he's standing up next to Guy Pearce, next to Kevin Spacey, next to Kim Basinger. They're all really, really working for me in this movie. So I will leave it at that. There's lots more to talk about this film.
Yeah, we could go on forever.
I probably could, but I will not. I will let you take it into The Departed.
Your old man was a fucking hump from Southie. Baggage handle at the airport, right? Family's all criminals except for the old man, huh?
And one priest, since you seem to know everything.
Well, last I heard, he was happily married to a 12-year-old boy living on a beach in Thailand. Fucking families dug into the Southie projects like ticks. 3-decker men at best. You, however, grew up on the North Shore, huh? Oh, la-di fucking da. You were kind of a double kid, I bet, right? Huh? One kid with your old man, one kid with your mother. You're upper middle class during the weeks, then you're dropping your eyes and you're hanging in the big bad Southie projects with your daddy the fucking donkey on the weekends. I got that right? Yep. You have different accents? You did, didn't you, you little fucking snake? You were like different people.
You a psychiatrist?
Well, if I was, I'd ask you why you're a statey making 30 grand a year, and I think if I was Sigmund fucking Freud, I wouldn't get an answer. So tell me, what's a lace curtain motherfucker like you doing in the Stadies?
Families are always rising or falling in America, am I right?
Who said that?
Hawthorne.
It's not a smart ass. You don't know any fucking Shakespeare?
We have a question. Do you want to be a cop, or do you want to appear to be a cop? It's an honest question. A lot of guys want to appear to be cops. Gun, badge, pretend they're on TV.
Yeah, a lot of them just want to slam a head through a plate glass window.
I'm all set without your own personal job application,
The
right,
fuck did you
Sergeant?
say to me, Trini?
With all due respect, sir, what do you want from me?
Hey, asshole, he can't help you. I know what you are, okay? I know what you are, and I know what you're not. I'm the best friend you have on the face of this earth, and I'm gonna help you understand something, you punk. You're no fucking cop.
I love that scene so much.
That scene is so funny. Mark Wahlberg destroys that monologue. Just absolutely kills it every time. I know exactly what he's going to say word for word. It makes me think of the beginning of Full Metal Jacket.
Mm-hmm.
There are just some scenes that you can just watch over and over again of just somebody using the cruelest, foulest language and just berating someone, and it is the most entertaining shit.
That's not the beginning of the scene. It's not the end of the scene. The whole thing's fantastic.
Yeah.
But much like L.A. Confidential, I think The Departed is a movie that you can really only get into in any sort of way that has respect to time just by going through the characters. And so this scene is a wonderful introduction to Mark Wahlberg's Sean Dignam. But I'm going to start with DiCaprio's Billy Costigan.
Yeah.
So he is the police officer that gets implanted into Costello's crime syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like is that his entry into the police is, like Wahlberg sort of called out, it's a deliberate attempt to sort of escape from his family legacy, which is not good. It's a criminal legacy. He wants to be better than that. It then gets flipped and used against him. It forces him right back into the world that he's trying to escape. And that's the tragedy of the movie. Or a tragedy of the movie.
I got to pause you there because I don't know that that's the world he is trying to escape. I think that's the world that he actually likes, and it feels a little bit more home to him.
I think it's home, but he knows it's wrong, and so he wants out.
I think that he wants to help the people, which is why, I mean, why else would you become a police officer when you do have a 1400 on your SATs? I don't think it's because you want out of the Southie projects. I think it's because you want to help people in the Southie projects. Because he has wealthy family on his mother's side, but he hates them. He hates the lace curtainers, right? He thinks that they're cruel. He thinks that they're heartless. He thinks that they fake who they are, which the great irony of he has to spend the next 5 years of his life faking who he is. And he, I think we'll get in, I think you have it here in your notes. Like, he wants to be a police. He wants to help people. And because of his background, because he had to go back and forth and be two different kids, they know he has it built in him that he can do this.
Yeah, it's to me, it's two sides of the same coin, right? Like, is he trying to escape it? Maybe not escape it completely, but he wants to be better than that. Or he sees that it could be better. He sees what's wrong and he wants to right the wrong.
I think he wants to help people find a way that is more honorable the way his father did.
Yeah.
I think that he wants to be in a place where he can help guide people in that direction rather than the way his Uncle Jackie lived his life.
Yeah, his Uncle Jackie's the worst example or the most obvious example.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, I think it's really tragic that he gets forced back into it. He's not able to be genuine. He has to be.
Breaks my heart.
Like it's so sad, and it tears him apart. Like it's such a destructive burden to him to have to play these two roles in life when all he wants is moral clarity.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't get it. He has to do horrible things to keep up the image of who he's pretending to be.
And he accidentally does horrible things that he doesn't even mean to do in the effort to maintain this character. When he knocks out that bookie's teeth, like it's such a small scene, but it like kind of breaks your heart because you're like,
it's just not who he is.
Because he's trying to be in character. That's what he's trying to do. And in that moment, he's like, oh, this is what my character would do. And they're like, no, that's not even what your character would do. Why are you hitting the bookie? And he's just like,
because he doesn't know.
Yeah,
like
I'm committing
so
violence.
Unnatural to him. He just is like, okay, I'm pretending to be a bad guy. This is what a bad guy would do.
And his response is like, how the fuck do I know? Like that's literally he's like, I don't know. He's like, the guy was reaching for like his jacket, which you're also like, that bookie should fucking know better than to reach for his jacket.
Come on.
Yeah, well, he's like shaking that guy down.
I know that. That's stupid.
You do not put your hands on the jacket when fucking Frenchie's there.
Yeah.
I'm fucking high. I don't know what I'm saying. Is that French?
Yeah, and so he becomes undone. He has just this constant anxiety. He has panic attacks. He ends up, just taking Xanax and
vomiting in trash cans and sweating and not sleeping. It
he's
rips
just
him apart.
a mess. And he tries to like connect to his therapist, but can't in a way that like helps. Like it's just so sad because he is the good guy. And like Marty said in the clip we played earlier, he gets killed for it, right? And, And so just an excellent character. And it shifts us right into the duality that the movie is exploring, much like L.A. Confidential. You have Colin Sullivan, Matt Damon's character.
Ooh, sorry, before we leave, I just have to do one more thing because please. I don't want to get to Sullivan. There's one thing I would notice, and it's literally from playing that clip and then like talking to you, and I was like taking notes right before we started recording, and I was like, this scene, Dignam says, you're no fucking cop. Like at the end of this, you will not be a cop. Queenan supports him. He says, he's right. You may be a lot of things, but when this is all over, you will not be a police officer, right? He dies a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has a chance at the end of the film to walk away. When he sees the citizen's envelope, he could just take the money, stop being a cop, and walk away. He doesn't have to call Sullivan out. He can leave Sullivan embedded in the police and do that. But
he is a cop.
Yeah. That's exactly it. At the end, he is a cop. And what's even best is, you know who's not a cop at the end? Dignam. Dignam's a fucking vigilante. He's an assassin. He's a gangster at the end. Like he's a straight up not a cop. And the way
that's the way that flips and gets turned inside out. It's the brilliance of the movie.
It is. It's why I want to call that out because that setup and that knockdown at the end is what make this movie feel so fucking complete.
Yeah,
it's a perfect
because
capsule.
it is, and it's
great third act.
It's a great third act, and the same thing happens again and again in different directions, and it's an absolute kick in the nuts every time.
Yep,
like it's so good.
Now we can talk Sullivan.
Yeah, so Sullivan's the opposite. He's a direct contrast to
literally yin and yang to each other.
To Costigan, right? He is polished and ambitious. He's also artificial and opportunistic, but his artificiality is a bad guy looking good, and he's trained damn good.
He's trained as a child, as an 11-year-old, from when he's a little kid, to be ambitious, to be all those things. I always wonder, like, what would happen to Sullivan if Costello didn't walk into that cafe?
Right, and that we talked about unlikable characters that you have sympathy for. The vulnerability of Sullivan at 11 years old is something that you absolutely sympathize with.
That kid's trying to survive. He has no parents.
He finds protection. He finds safety. He finds stability, and it destroys him. And so he also enters the world of a cop and gets devoured by that too a little bit. Like he is like the Guy Pearce character in that he starts to really care about the prestige. He cares about the accolades. He cares about his position in the world.
I think, I don't know if I got that.
I mean, I think the third act sort of tells us that.
I think I don't know. I mean, yes, but I think that what he cares about is that he is looking for a way out of being underneath someone. Like, yes, he cares about power. He wants to have autonomy, and you see him pushing for autonomy with Costello throughout the entire film. There's always this, who's in charge? Are you in charge or am I in charge? Should you listen to me? Should I listen to you? And I mean, this is his undoing, is that he determines that Costello needs to listen to him and that he is in charge.
Well,
but I think it's the autonomy and the power less than necessarily the prestige, because he gains power when he has to do the internal investigation, but he loses his like social influence, because Exley doesn't have social influence. Sullivan does. People like Sullivan.
People like Sullivan. But I think you're onto something. I think the autonomy, the power is important to him. It comes with prestige in the police department. But at the end of the movie, when he finds out that Costello is a protected FBI informant, he has the realization that
that twist is so good.
His whole life has been sort of compromising himself to find stability and protection. And then he discovers that because Costello is an informant, he's also disposable. Costello could sell him out at any moment to protect himself.
That's exactly it. Yeah. When Sullivan realizes that he's not a knight, he's a pawn. And when he realizes that on Costello's chessboard that he's a pawn, when he thought the whole time that he was a queen or a knight, that's when he turns. Because he wants that power and he wants that autonomy, and you don't have autonomy when you're just a pawn on Costello's board.
And so he decides in a moment to flip it all on its head, and that he's gonna, okay, if I can't get the stability, if I can't get the power, if I can't get prestige, whatever it is, via Costello, I'll take Costello out and I'll do it through the police force. I'll go become the good cop.
Well, he realizes he doesn't need Costello. He is smart. He's all the things we just said, right? He's ambitious. He's smart. He's super perceptive. He's very hardworking. He's a great fucking liar.
Yeah.
I proved that. Like, there's a point, I almost think he realizes that he doesn't need Costello, and that's a tragedy of his character, too late.
Yeah.
He should have realized 2 years ago that he didn't need Costello, and that he should have slowly worked to undermine Costello.
Because when he does, his only option is an absolute bloodbath.
Which is funny, both of these movies end in fucking bloodbaths.
Yeah.
And fire and shotgun blast. And
it's
the only way a story like this can end.
Yeah, and it's just crazy that you have these two characters who are, like you said, yin and yang. They're opposites, but they're identical in the same way, and they have the same tragic end.
The thing that separates them is that Costigan has a moral center. He, despite everything he does to compromise it, I don't think that it ever goes away. I think it lives somewhere inside of him, and it's why he gets as sick as he does, because all of his actions are in constant conflict with that moral center, whereas Sullivan has no moral center. Yeah. Sullivan is fully compromised. Sullivan will do anything to win, regardless of what that thing is, whereas Costigan, and this is what's crazy, is he also does anything to win, but winning for him is justice.
Yeah.
And he does so much so that he literally compromises his own life for it, which is fucking tragic.
Yeah. And then we have a third character.
Dignam.
Which is Dignam, Mark Wahlberg's character.
Fucking love Dignam.
And he's another one that
he's evil, but he's great. He's so evil.
Kind of. He's also the...
You want a boss like Dignam?
I don't want a boss like Dignam.
If he was your boss, would you say he's evil?
Yeah,
You'd be like, my boss is evil.
Yeah.
You'd be like, my boss has
But I think that's the other thing that's crazy. You have these the two characters, Costigan and Sullivan. Then you have Dignam, who is aggressive, like that scene, like he's going crazy. He's such an asshole, but he's also kind of the one with moral clarity.
I have to ask, this is something I have always wondered about this movie. Why do you think Queenan gives Dignam as much fucking leash as he does? He lets the rope so loose to let him do whatever he wants and behave in any way he wants. And it obviously does not agree with Queenan's sensibilities. Queenan's a captain. Dignam's a fucking sergeant.
Yeah. I think
it's sergeant, but sergeant.
I think it's because Dignam does have that moral clarity. Like at the end of the day, it's means justifying the ends. It's, yeah, he's a prick. He's a bull in a china shop, but he actually is, I think, trying to do what's right. He is trying to clean things up. He is trying to find criminals and stop crime and make things better.
He's making Costigan crazy.
Yeah.
He's literally the man on the inside that they need working for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is making him fucking crazy. Like Costigan he literally just needs
he needs a hug.
Yeah. I was going to say he needs a lifesaver, right? He needs something thrown out to him, anything. And the only people he's allowed to contact are Vera Farmiga's character, who her name is currently eluding me. Sorry. Dignam and Queenan. And he barely gets to talk to Queenan unless Dignam's there. And he can't seem to get along with the psychiatrist unless he's having sex with her. And so Dignam is like, if you want to figure out why Costigan goes fucking nuts, I think it's kind of because of Dignam.
Yeah. These characters are so complex
I know.
and
it's
difficult.
It's fucked up. Like, it makes him villainous, though.
It does.
Because he doesn't support the goal.
Yeah. And then the flip side, right, is that when Queenan gets murdered,
dude, that scene is so fucking good.
It's so good.
That fall.
He quits the force. He sees through Sullivan's bullshit. He doesn't like Sullivan because he doesn't believe Sullivan.
I love the scene when he attacks him.
Yeah.
And then he keeps telling him while they're holding him, he's like, let him go. Let him go. He's like, let him go.
Yeah.
Don't let me go. Let him go. Because I'll kill him.
Yeah. But again, I think he has this like righteous indignation to him that like makes me, I see everything you're seeing. I know all of his flaws, but I'm
not saying I like him. I want to be clear. I love him. He's hilarious.
But I really love him. And I also think, again, he, more than some of the others, I think in its own weird, fucked up way, his compass points due north.
I mean, he's an assassin at the end of the movie, so I struggle with that.
Yeah. Why is he an assassin?
Extrajudicial killings. It's hard to say that somebody who commits extrajudicial killings, it has a compass that points due north. I think it might point northwest.
Maybe. But again, he's doing it because the thing he's dedicated his life to, didn't get the job done. And so he resorts to extrajudicial justice to right the ship. He knows that the framework won't do it.
He could have stayed on the force and built a case against Sullivan. I don't believe that was his only path.
With everything that happened before, you don't think his faith was shattered?
All he had to fucking do was bring Costigan in, sit down, go through the evidence. He has Sullivan. He didn't even take that as an option because he was too mad because he was Bud Whiting out on fucking Sullivan.
Yeah.
And because he does that, he creates a corner that he's backed into.
Yeah, he gets corrupted just like the others, right?
Exactly.
That's his tragedy, I guess.
That is his tragedy, is that he has so much quote unquote clarity of vision that he doesn't know how to work within the system. He can't Ed Exley it. He can't Sullivan it. He's such a bull in a china shop that he fucking destroys the china shop.
Yeah.
And then he has to compromise his own values and assassinate someone, which there's no, like, I don't care what you think. There's no way that you can say that was the right thing to do. That scene is badass as hell.
It's understandable in the context of the movie.
You get it, but it's not right.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I think
he's a cop.
That's a tragedy because I think he is a cop. I think he does have moral clarity. I think maybe he started out with his compass pointing due north and then it tilts west, right? Like it's...
I think his compass was always pointing that way, and I think Dignam is exactly what he's talking about in there. He wants to appear to be a cop, but what he really wants to do is take down gangsters. That's what matters to him, is fucking up gangsters. The way Bud White wants to fuck up domestic abusers, Dignam wants to fuck up gangsters. Like, that's what he wants. And probably they fucked up his neighborhood growing up in Southie, and he wants to get them back. Because you don't know where Dignam's coming from. I mean, the accent, he's from the South Shore. He's like down Braintree or fucking Dudley Station. Sorry, Fields Corner. Like, this is where he's fucking from on the red line. And you know that something happened in the past that he has a vengeance. And being a cop was a way to get it. And then when being a cop wasn't a way to get it, he left the force and became an assassin.
Yeah.
Dignam's a bad dude. I like him, but he's bad
though.
Dude.
Like that, I think in our conversation here, like both of these movies do the same thing really well, is that they have super complex characters. They have these competing moralities, and they leave you wanting more. I want to know more about who Dignam is. I want to know more about who Costigan is. I know a lot about who Sullivan is, but even then, like, I could have spent more time with 11-year-old Sullivan, right? Like, And so the movie does so much, and there's still like I'm still hungry.
I know.
It's so great. And then just constructing it, like that rooftop and elevator scenes that sort of happen in sequence in that third act, where everything starts to come together and come apart at the same time, ends in a bloodbath. You have these parallel deceptions, and I don't know, like you have a cross, a double cross, a triple cross, quadruple cross. I could keep going, and I don't know. I absolutely hear what you're saying about what Dignam does at the end, and it's probably just effective filmmaking, right? That it lets me forget my moral center, that I see, okay, justice prevailed at the end.
I'm going to tell you right now, that is what makes this movie so good, though.
Yeah.
My favorite movies are the movies that make me forget my morals and suddenly sign on to the immoral behavior of the character, because it lets me know that I need to be more on guard about when I'm looking at a situation, how quickly I'm willing to let go of my own principles and side with a charismatic, funny character that I'm enjoying, that I feel has some kind of righteous reason for committing a murder.
And that the movie is broadcasting in bright red capital letters a warning for 2.5 hours, and you still fucking fall for the trap.
Don't fall for the trap. But when you walk in and you see him in his white booties and his blue fucking tracksuit, and you know that Sullivan just shit his pants, like, you love it. You love it. But then that rat, you see the rat walk along the banister, and it's Scorsese just one last thing saying, no, they're all bad.
Yeah.
They're all bad.
I watched another interview with Scorsese about this movie, and he talks about the rat specifically.
Oh, really?
And how it was so difficult for him to figure out how to get that on screen, that you get a trained rat, you have him walk across a windowsill.
The whole food right there.
Fine,
where you want to start,
right?
yeah.
Like that part's not hard. But the script says, I'm paraphrasing here, but basically something peculiar happened and a rat runs across the windowsill, right? And Scorsese's just sitting there like, how do I make peculiar happen on screen? How do I take everything that happened before and in that, 10 seconds, make you realize that like everything I've seen has been twisted and messed up, and we think we're clearer than these characters, we think we're better than these characters, and we end up doing the same shit.
You come out the other side of this movie fucking corkscrewed. Like completely, a rubber band wrapped around it, that you don't know what's good and what's bad anymore.
Yeah, it's been, almost a week since I watched this, and then did a bunch of research, prepared for this, tried to get my notes down to a place where it was a conversation that was even close to coherent. And it's stuck. Like this movie stuck with me so well.
That means it's time. We need to decide which movie has the stronger emotional connection for us.
Oh, this one is hard. The last one was easy. This one's really hard.
So hard. I really thought I knew which one it was going to be. This always happens. And when we talk through them,
I know.
And then I get the halo effect. Do you get the halo effect?
Yeah.
It's bad. Whatever one we talked about last, I'm like, that one feels pretty powerful right now.
I know. Halo effect notwithstanding, I think I know what I'm doing here.
I don't feel good about it, but I'm doing it.
Ready?
Yep. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm going The Departed too.
I was gonna do L.A. Confidential. I really was. And then we had that conversation about what it does to my morals.
I mean, if it's emotional connection, right? The fact that it literally twists your emotions into a place where it changes how you think about the world. It kind of, I don't want to say it's no contest, because L.A. Confidential is so good and has such strong characters and does move you.
But I don't walk away with my morals twisted in the way. I still know good from evil at the end of L.A. Confidential, whereas at the end of The Departed, it's convinced me that Dignam's a good guy.
That maybe you got to do evil to accomplish good. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It even has me sad that Sullivan gets shot in a weird way.
I know.
Which I'm like, I shouldn't feel that way.
Yeah. You should.
Like that's the wrong way to feel about this movie.
And yet here we are. Man.
Hey, Michael, we are going to discuss which film is more entertaining. They are both.
And this one might even be harder.
I don't even know, man. These movies are both really, really good.
Yeah, both movies are not short. I think The Departed's longer, but
they're both like 2+.
Yeah.
They're in the 215, 230 range.
But
I think LA Confidential is a little tighter, if I'm being honest.
It's a little tighter, I think, but they're both easy watches in a way. Like we've discussed them in a very complicated way. There's a lot of meat there. You can dig and pull, but they're both really fun movies in their own way.
They are. The characters are fun. The settings are fun. They're both very in a place, which makes them really wonderful films.
Yeah, we talked about LA a lot. We didn't talk about Boston that much.
I dropped a bunch of like Boston references for you. You're welcome.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, The Departed is a movie that very much feels like it wouldn't be the movie if it wasn't in Boston.
It's so funny to think that it was adapted from a Chinese film because of how fucking Boston it feels.
Yeah. And then to call back a little bit to what Andy Lau, the director of Infernal Affairs, said, is that it takes the story and really adapts it to the American sensibility and helps us understand American crime, American life, the way class and society and all of these things work. And Boston ends up being like this perfect little microcosm of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, LA Confidential, you have the glitz and the glamour and the shine of Hollywood with the dirtiness of the LA underworld. But like watching the movie, it feels glamorous in a way. Like it like
parts of it.
There are parts of it.
The Jack Vincennes parts.
Well,
so funny story. Russell Crowe, his character Bud White, was supposed to be dressed as a guy who doesn't know how to dress. Right? He's like the costumes were really important in this film and period and everything, right? But this is a guy who doesn't know anything. He's a bruiser. He beats people up. He puts on a brown tie and a brown suit and he goes out. Named best dressed character in the movies of 1997.
That's hilarious.
Which everyone was like, what?
It's because you fall for the time capsule.
You do.
Right? Like even with all of the bad shit going on, it locks you into a weird nostalgia.
Yep.
And it's so effective and just such a good time. I love being transported like that.
I do too. Now for entertaining, you and I talked about this before. Jack Nicholson, man, he entertains the shit out of me.
He entertains the shit out of me.
Him and Mark Wahlberg are making The Departed so watchable. Every moment they're on scene. But you think Jack's overdoing it.
I do. Like, so if there's a flaw, and this is such a like, it feels like criticism for criticism's sake.
It's like saying Russell Crowe is the worst part of LA Confidential, even though it's all good.
Is that I absolutely have like a stupid shit-eating grin on my face every second Jack Nicholson is on screen.
Just chewing the shit out
but
of the
I
scenery.
never forget that he's Jack Nicholson. He's Jack Nicholsoning it up the whole time.
You know the hand in the bag was improv?
Yeah.
Yeah. When he took that shit out, they were like, we don't know if that's going to hold up on camera. You should not take that out of the
So
bag.
was the gun in the I Smell a Rat scene.
God.
Like, so like it's super good, but it's also like, that's the guy from As Good As It Gets. Like,
I mean, that's not quite the way I saw it. I don't really look at Jack and think that necessarily. I think he's just vastly entertaining.
But he's super fun.
When he
super
walks out of the back
entertaining,
room,
electric.
I mean, the scenes are like the rat scene and the hand scene, but I think my favorite moment of his is when he's a little bit more calm and subdued because it's scarier. When he walks out and there's just blood down his shirt and up to his fucking forearms.
At the bar.
And he goes, I'm working with another team tonight. You guys can go home. And he says it as calm as can be.
And you have no idea what happened, but you know it's fucked up.
Dude, he's got blood up to his fucking elbows on both hands. Covered. It's the most horrifying thing you can imagine.
He's a super fun character.
Yeah.
Like,
and we're not giving enough credit to Sheen either. Like, honestly, Queenan's a great character too. Like, I love Queenan. I love Alec Baldwin's characters. Like, there are just no misses across here for me. They're all so much fun to watch. And the set pieces, again, are just fucking great. Between the final fight when Sullivan kills Costello and shoots at him even the last minute because he has no fucking love for anybody. Costello just doesn't fucking care.
And then the escape down the elevator, the door opens,
Dude,
things get flipped again. Honestly, I mean, that elevator's almost as crazy as Damon walking into the apartment. Like,
I know. Like, but then you have the great shotgun scene in LA Confidential when Guy Pearce goes in and just is like taking people down with that shotgun and chasing them through the streets, and it feels so real, and it gets me so wrapped up in those moments.
Smith in the back.
Dude.
Like, it's...
Both of these movies, they are vastly entertaining. They're twisty, they're turny, they catch me off guard at every corner. Even though I know The Departed backwards, forwards, upside down, it's still just like, it hits.
The punches are still there. And like...
Still kills me when Costigan just takes one.
Both of these movies, I mean, there's the test that very few movies pass where I'd recommend it to just about anybody.
Yeah. I agree.
Like,
I agree.
You don't have to be like a movie nerd who's going to try to dissect all the characters like we do and the setting and stuff to just watch these and have a really great time.
But if you want to get into it, you know what?
It's
You're
there
all
too.
there all the time.
Yeah.
Are you ready to pick?
Yeah.
God damn it.
I know. You and I are about to do the exact same thing.
God damn it.
I really came into today not knowing how I was going to go.
I really didn't either. I know you're talking.
Ended up being a clean sweep.
It clean sweep me too.
Yeah. And I'm shocked.
I am too.
I'm shocked given how I felt about the movies, but the discussion really pulled it out.
It's actually funny. I'm the same way. I got to the end of L.A. Confidential and I was like, this is my movie. I was like, this is happening. And then we got into the discussion, and between both of them, I was like, no, The Departed is a more entertaining movie. I get more emotionally wrapped up in it.
Yeah, they're so good though. Like,
all right, Michael.
Ian.
It has come time to make a decision. We have both clean sweeped The Departed in entertainment, in emotional connection, and in cinematic importance.
I'm shocked.
I am utterly shocked. It is time to now decide which movie is going to make the greatest watch list of all time and which one's going to be cut. I don't know how I feel.
I feel sick.
I do too. This is my first time seeing LA Confidential. I really, really liked it. I watched all the special features. I read all about it. I went through this movie. I adored this movie.
I watched these two
movies. I
movies.
watch it once, and I'm going to cut it from my life forever.
I know. I was on vacation last week, and we were at my wife's grandparents' house. And, when we're there at night, we always watch movies. And usually pick old stuff, try to find things that are digestible.
Okay.
And this time I was like, these will be digestible enough. And I just had the best time a couple nights in a row watching these movies. They're just both so good.
We've said it before, but we get to watch way better movies on this iteration of our podcast.
Yeah, because we get to pick them.
We get to pick whatever we want and then pair them up. Well, remember though, the board picks them.
The board,
yeah.
Yes.
The Essential Cut board.
Very important board.
Yeah, we answered the board.
All right.
It's time. Let's do it.
Speaking of boards.
Are you just feeling so much agony right now?
Yeah, because it's obvious what I'm doing based on the previous conversation. We've been on a pretty straight trajectory towards doing this, and I still feel horrible about it.
Yep.
Not because I don't love The Departed. I absolutely do. What the hell?
I'm keeping LA Con.
That's crazy.
I don't care. I know The Departed swept. I do. But I'm keeping LA Confidential. I'm cutting The Departed. And I have my reasons.
I want to hear these reasons because, again, I went into today not knowing what I was going to do because I love both of these movies so much. It was a very hard choice until we really dove into them. And then it became kind of obvious to me, not because LA Confidential really has any hits to it, but because The Departed just got so much more elevated.
I have never clean swept a movie and then selected the other one.
No, it seems
I realize
impossible.
this is a logical fallacy.
It is.
I've done this in the past. I'm sticking to my guns. LA Confidential is a unique animal.
Mm-hmm.
It represents a time and a place where you just do not have movies like this getting made now, or even in its era where there are very many movies like this. The reality is you listed 8 movies that all took place in Boston in crime with great performances, good scripts, gritty. We liked them. Are they as good as The Departed? No. The Departed is also a remake. It has 18 other remakes. It is a great version of itself, and
you are holding its win for cinematic importance against it.
Sort of, but it's a remake also of other movies. That's the thing. Whereas LA Confidential reached way back into some far lesser known territory and brought it into the 90s with a bunch of unknown actors. You gotta love it for that. And it's a movie that is just lesser seen that needs to be on a great watch list. I don't need to tell people. We're curating. We are.
Yeah.
I don't need to tell people to watch The Departed.
Fair.
Right? I don't need to say, hey, you should go see Mark Wahlberg and Leonardo DiCaprio and Alec Baldwin and Matt fucking Damon, who's in The Odyssey this summer, and Jack Nicholson, who has 3 Oscars in this great movie.
Yeah, when you have a movie and Jack Nicholson's not one of the 3 performances I decided to talk about, like, what the hell?
Whereas, do you want to go see Guy Pearce's first American role after Priscilla, Queen of the Desert? Like, this is an incredible transformation on his part. Do you want to see one of the best adapted screenplays maybe you'll ever see?
Yeah, I mean, to that point, like you said it earlier, I want to read the book. I don't often see a movie based on a book and say like, oh, I need to go read this book. But because this movie left me wanting more, and that's the more that's available to me, I want it.
Exactly.
I agree.
I
with
want L.A.
all
Confidential 2 so much more than I want The Departed 2.
Yeah.
I want to see the TV show of L.A. Confidential so much more than I want to see a TV show of The Departed, although I actually would kind of want to see the
I want to see
it. So that's how I'm justifying. We have a split vote. It's going to the audience again.
I don't hate you for it. I can't shake The Departed. And
I'll
I've
tell you
seen
right
it
now.
so many more times than LA Confidential, and I still can't stop thinking about it since I watched it most recently.
I recognize that this is a wasted vote. The audience will select The Departed.
Yeah.
There's no way that they will not. It is too well known. It is too well loved. It was on the Letterboxd Top 500. LA Confidential was nowhere near it. But if I can get it in front of a few people, I feel like this is my Frank Capra moment.
Yeah.
I'm going to Washington. I'm grandstanding. I'm going to do it as someone who hadn't seen the movie before because I want people to have at least some experience with it. So
I don't hate you for it.
Yeah. So that's why I'm doing it. Those are all the reasons. And I think there's nothing more that need be said about it. This was a fucking fun episode. I had a blast. Hope you did.
I absolutely did.
So we will not get to discuss the consequences because once again, we have not made a selection. So this will now go to another poll. Please go to YouTube and to my threads at Ian_upleft where you can vote for which film you think belongs on the greatest watch list of all time. I've made my case for why we should vote for LA Confidential. I think we all know why you should vote for The Departed. Make the decision that feels right in your heart. We trust you. We trust democracy. I don't, but he does.
I try to.
And we know that
Democracy
ultimately
did kill Scream, though, so my trust is wavering.
It murdered Scream. It didn't just kill it. It slayed it. Right now, it looks like it's probably going to kill Invasion of the Body Snatchers. We have a little while to go. We'll announce that on next episode which one wins. But for now, we have another split vote. Go place your vote. Let us know which movie belongs on the list. Michael, that is all for today's episode. I think it is time for you to take us out.
Next time on The Essential Cut, we are swapping out sidearms for acoustic guitars. We're leaving behind the organized gangsters for disorganized youngsters.
In the world of corrupt cops and crooked mobsters, danger lurks even when you sleep, and you never know who you should trust.
But next week, sleep is no problem. You can do it on a friend's couch or even through a plane crash. And existential dread is the biggest threat that we are going to face.
We're plugging in our headphones and checking out the ultimate monument to Gen X underemployment angst, convenience store philosophies, and anti-corporate hypocritical rebellions. Reality Bites.
And facing off against Reality Bites, the 2004 indie powerhouse that defined the early 2000s millennial aesthetic with a rain-soaked motorcycle ride, the Manic Pixie Girl, and a legendary, melancholic soundtrack that thrust the Shins into the mainstream. Garden State.
2 films about 20-somethings completely paralyzed by the thought of the future, but only one can make the essential cut.
Make sure you like, subscribe, rate, and review this episode on your favorite podcasting app and on YouTube. Vote in our poll. We have yet another split decision. Let us know, does The Departed or does LA Confidential make the Essential Cut watch list? Both are deserving. Only one gets a spot. We're leaving it up to you. Make sure you follow us online, Instagram, Threads, Letterboxd. I am at Michael_upleft. Ian?
I'm at Ian_upleft, and I'm going to be doing a lot of posting over the next week. This is always... I need to live in the right time. I'm going to Japan.
You're going to Japan.
I'm going to Japan, but by the time you see this, I will be back from Japan. But I'll have a bunch of stuff from Japan on there.
I know. I want to see your letterbox reviews from airplane movies. That's what I want.
I mean, honestly, I'll probably be rewatching movies for our episode because when I land, we're recording another. We're going to be doing a double episode.
Yeah.
When I land, so
you're going to be
caught
jet
up.
lagged. You're going to have 4 movies to keep track of. It's going to be a fun time.
It's fine. I have plenty of time on the plane to do it, so I'll be reviewing them on there. I actually specifically, I don't know if you saw it, did not rate LA Confidential on Letterboxd, so they didn't want you to know how I felt about it coming in.
Yeah, is it 5-star for you?
It's 4.5.
It's a 4.5. Yeah, both of these are 4.5.
These are both 4.5.
They're both great.
Yeah, they're like so close to being perfect movies, but they're really good. So anyway, yeah, follow me on those places at Ian_upleft. And then, as Michael said, please vote in our poll. We want to know which movie you think belongs on the greatest watch list of all time, the Essential Cut watch list. Our watch list is better than yours.
It's essential.
Bye for now. The Essential Cut is an Uplift Media production, written, researched, and hosted by Ian Tarter and Michael Smith, produced, sound engineered, and edited by Ian Tarter, with special thanks to Rosie Page.